this into something positive and maybe it'll spread.
He's the most positive person on his job.
Now you're cured.
I feel good.
Good morning and welcome to Positively Milwaukee. We're beginning a new year, and of course we have faced a period of deep divisions and violence. It's been a sad week, but right now we're going to take a break from all of the turmoil and reflect on those who hold our future, the youth. So this morning we're going to meet a senior at South Milwaukee High School who reminds us that often young people have a lot of space in their heart for the less fortunate, and that should give us all a heavy dose of optimism. During a year when we lived through a global pandemic, social distancing, and virtual learning, a 17-year-old high school student looks beyond herself.
She's not afraid to back down from a challenge.
Maddie McCarty became like a teacher. Her lesson plan, love.
She's just overall a good person.
McCarty, who is now 18, inspired the South Milwaukee community to support those in need.
At the beginning of the pandemic, I felt I was a little sad. My school was canceled, prom's canceled, track's canceled. And then I kind of just took a step back and I thought, there's a lot of people who have a lot more problems than I do. People are losing their jobs and they don't know how they're gonna get food for their family.
So McCarty raised money for this place, South Milwaukee Human Concerns. The Food and Clothing Bank has served thousands of residents facing hard times. And with the pandemic, the need is great.
I got an email from her saying, hey, Dr. Flagg, I'm thinking about doing this food drive for South Milwaukee Human Concerns. And I think, when I said, yep, not a problem, go for it. I'm thinking maybe she raised a couple $1,000s.
Maddie quickly learned a young girl from a small town can do big things with an organized GoFundMe page.
And it was really amazing. We had some people donate, like Brian Anderson from the Brewers. He ended up donating some money. Then we ended up raising over $16,000 just with the GoFundMe. And it was just incredible. We ended up having the food drive and we collected over 2,000 food items as well.
South Milwaukee rallied for the less fortunate.
It was really amazing to see all the different people. There was different school clubs, different sports were donating. There was little groups of elementary school teachers were pooling their money and donating, and there was teachers, administrators, and it was really incredible to see that.
So it wasn't like she got a bunch of big corporate donations. She really didn't get any of those. So this is all the people in the community coming together.
Maggie is more than a community volunteer. Her academics, well, let's just say she got a perfect score on her ACT. Principal Jeff Flagg shares a secret.
She had a 35 on her first on a practice test that we gave here, and I kind of pulled her aside and I said, I think we need to go for the perfect score. And I said, because it may open more doors for you. It's not really one point. It's different when you get a perfect score. I said, so let's just see. I said, you're going to have doors open that you don't know they're going to open. She said, okay. So about 2 months later, she went and took the test and she got a perfect score.
Maddie's parents both teach at South Milwaukee High School, and they say their younger daughter has always gotten high marks for compassion.
She really loves animals too, so that it kind of translates over into people too. She has she's a vegetarian, and she has a strong feeling for animals, so that's always been that way. And I don't know, it's just a natural thing. She's kind and she's humble, and she's just really we talked how lucky we were. It's how to have to discipline our kids. Well, we didn't really have to very much, so that's nice.
So what's the secret to raising teenagers making the grade in class and in life?
I do think just supporting them in their own path to becoming a good student, I think is probably the best thing you can do. Make sure that they feel cared for and safe and loved, and then you're probably going to have a lot of success at the end that way.
I would love to go to med school someday and become a doctor. And that way, I can help people.
But I figure this National Honor Society student has to have a few faults.
She likes to stay up late, so I'd be like, Maddie, you gotta get to bed. And she takes obnoxiously long showers.
That's what I would say, long showers.
If that's the worst thing, the McCartys are blessed. And if Maddie McCarty is any indication of the youth of today, our country's future will pass a crucial test.
I don't think she scratched the surface really on what she's capable of, which I think is really exciting. And I'm a strong believer that we got to get kids to dream. We got to get kids to push the boundaries of what they believe they can do. And most of the times when they believe, if we get them to believe they're going to do something, they're going to do it. I worked with a lot of kids in 25 years. She's one of the very, very, very top. Very top.
And we need a story like Maddie's this week, that's for sure. If you'd like more information about South Milwaukee Human Concerns, we do have a link to its Facebook page on our website, tmj4.com. When people age out of foster care in Milwaukee, they often have no place to go. Glow 414 is an organization hoping to change that. Taylor Lumpkin shows us one woman's dream is making transitional housing a reality.
For Mikkel Daniels, all it took was a little inspiration and a dream to see young women in her community succeed, deciding it was time to open a transitional housing complex in her old neighborhood.
This brings so much power to this community.
A simple vision of creating an environment for young women to transition into adulthood has now become a reality.
You asked me a question earlier, what made me start this? Because I needed this. I grew up around the corner.
Previously working as a social worker, Mikkel Daniels, the owner and founder of Glow 414, says she realized this type of transitional housing was needed in the community.
They were aging out of foster care. They was aging out of the system. There was nowhere for them to go. So I said, instead of complaining, I'm going to do something about it.
After months of planning and renovating, young women will be able to live in the complex's 3 2- and 1-bedroom apartments.
But when I first sat down like on the couch and just was like, "Ooh, I'm tired," I was like, "No, this is what a home feels like."
Where they'll also take credit and budgeting classes, things they'll need to know as they enter the real world.
So many times we are working with young ladies, we are getting them and teaching them so many skills, but we're not really always preparing them for a transition to adulthood.
And as Daniels prepares to open her doors for those in need of transitional housing, she wants them to know that she's got their back.
Because I can speak their language and let them know I hear you, I feel you, but I got you.
This is so needed. Now, the Glow organization is taking donations to ensure that this housing stays open. We've got more information on our Positively Milwaukee Facebook page. Well, we know winter in Wisconsin means we got to embrace the cold. And one way to do that, get outside and skate. Well, there's a new rink in Whitefish Bay. Here's Delaney Bry.
I'll admit, growing up in Texas, I didn't see ice often, let alone an outdoor skating rink. But I know there's something special about being under the lights. Now, thanks to a local nonprofit, you can skate outside from now until March.
We've really run out of ice to support the club, and we thought there'd be nothing better to return us to our roots in an outdoor sheet in Whitefish Bay, and that's where we are now.
Founded in 1962 with the help of Mike's grandfather, Jeff McClay, the Milwaukee Winter Club has grown to 350 members, including Mike's friend Alex and his 2 children.
I have a 9-year-old and also a 6-year-old, and they've been skating for years now. They both started when they were 3 years old. And my involvement is I've been a volunteer coach. Winter Club is a 100% volunteer-run organization.
It's those volunteers who rallied together back in July of 2019 to make this rink a reality in 2020.
People with financial backgrounds, people with marketing backgrounds, people with engineering, construction, all the different backgrounds to come together and make this a reality, and everybody donated their time and their talent. And then it also took sponsors, Milwaukee Admirals, North Shore Healthcare, Boucher Automotive Group, just to name a few.
Created as a space for the club's athletes to grow.
More opportunities for players in our club to get on the ice and just play in an unstructured environment, which really develops them as hockey players.
This ice is for everyone.
Seeing the smiling faces out there coming off the ice of kids that I don't know, and new kids to the ice has been tremendous.
But make sure you pack your mask along with your skates, and no need to rush. There are no plans to melt until winter is over.
There's a full chiller system that keeps the ice cold, that allows us to skate in under about, I think, 45 degrees. And so we're really looking forward to using it almost the entire winter and hopefully into March as well.
Mark Johnson, the University of Wisconsin women's coach, said it better. Hockey just feels different outdoors under the lights, and that's the special place we hope this will be.
It looks like a lot of fun. You can lace up your skates at Cahill Park. Well, if skating is not your thing, maybe you can take a walk outside. Here's James Groh on a winter phenomenon a lot of people have been talking about.
I am literally surrounded by millions of the tiniest but most beautiful ice crystals stuck to the leaves and trees that look like this, and even this. This natural phenomena only happens when the conditions are just right. It's called rye mice. Not rye mice, but rye mice.
Rye ice actually forms in the air. It freezes super cooled water droplets in the air and then attaches itself to a surface.
That's exactly what's happening at Lapham Peak in Delafield and in many other parts of Wisconsin. But don't confuse this with frost.
Whereas frost actually starts as a gas state and actually forms on. The forming process actually happens while it's on a surface, whether that's a car or a tree branch.
Natural beauty like this makes Wisconsin winter seem not so bad.
So quiet and peaceful, and the awesome thing are the crystals on the trees are just so unique. I've never seen it before.
And he isn't even from Wisconsin. He just came here at the right time.
I'm very lucky because I'm visiting from Atlanta. So the weather's way different in Atlanta than it is in beautiful Wisconsin right now.
But don't wait around thinking these beautiful ice crystals will last long.
Might not have conditions like this the rest of the year. So while it seems like, oh, hey, you know, we get it, we might not see this again the rest of winter. So enjoy it. It's some nature beauty, that's for sure.
For more photos, head to tmjford.com.
I just love them. So beautiful. Thank you, James. And how positively Milwaukee is this? Check it out. Candy Cane Lane, we all know about that. It raised a record $207,000 this year. The annual drive-through lights display supports the MAC Fund, and that money is put toward research to find cures for childhood cancers and blood-related disorders. Thank you to everybody who volunteered and took part. It's always a wonderful holiday tradition for families and kids, especially to enjoy. Much more to come this morning on Positively Milwaukee. We're going to show you what a Wisconsin zoo is doing with old Christmas trees. And we're going to meet a West Ellis man who takes collecting to a whole new level. Welcome back to Positively Milwaukee. Christmas trees are going to the goats? Seriously. Valerie Juarez reports from the new zoo in Suamico.
A lot of people think that they are baby goats, but nope, they're just a little bit smaller than the other ones.
Meet Dale and Brennan.
Dale, he is the one that is black in color, and Brennan is the more blondish orange colored one.
They're a pair of kids at the new zoo in Suamico who love this time of year when people donate their old Christmas trees.
Goats will love to eat anything. Plants are going to be their very favorite thing, and so when the trees come in, they start mowing them down.
So no need for vacuums here. As educator Andrea Vahey says, these goats will go after the needles and even eat the branches on the sticks.
They're not really that picky. They just pull everything right off. They won't go after the trunk of the tree, but don't be surprised if a few branches are missing too.
As the saying goes, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Vahey says, with your tree donations, it's another way the zoo can be resourceful by using an alternative food source.
We do give our animals lots of food over the winter time, especially a little extra to make sure they have enough fur and fat on their bodies. But it definitely does give them a little extra boost and something different to snack on, different than their hay, than the lettuce, than the fruits and vegetables. Trees give them something a little bit different.
But it's not all about the crunch. She adds these trees are also good for their diets.
So like any plant, especially for our herbivores, it is going to give them those lovely plant nutrients that is going to be just digested in their stomach. Just like leaves that we'd give in the summertime, these are just from coniferous trees, but it still has nutrients in there, so it gives them an extra little bite in the winter.
Aren't they adorable? Well, it turns out goats aren't the only animals that enjoy recycled trees, and that's giving us a reason to smile. Check out this tiger rubbing itself against a tree. Now, this is at the Wisconsin Big Cat Rescue and Educational Center near Baraboo. For the big cat, it's like a brand new big toy. Gotta like that picture. Now, because of COVID, the DNR has put a hold on the annual count of bald eagle nests. But you can help. If you do see a bald eagle nest, contact the Department of Natural Resources. Let them know where you saw it. Counting nests really is the best way to keep tabs on the eagle population. A new radio station in Milwaukee is giving us a reason to smile. 1017 The Truth has launched and features authentic conversations about news and current events. Management calls it a celebration of Black culture.
It's just going to be a place for you to call in and tell your story and tell your situations and your experiences, just not as being black, but being black in Milwaukee or being white in Milwaukee.
The station is owned and operated by Good Karma Brands, which also owns News Radio 620, WTMJ, 94.5 ESPN, and 540 ESPN. And we also share a building with this group, so we want to say to our new neighbors, welcome to Radio City. The pandemic means people are once again taking pleasure in collecting sports memorabilia. Lance Allen tells us about a West Ellis man who loves all things pro wrestling.
Sports memorabilia is enjoying a new wave of excitement. Sports card collecting has exploded during the pandemic. We catch up with a West Ellis man who takes collecting pro wrestling items to a new level.
And these are all guys that I've had relationships through the years.
Jim?
But I like the toilet seat. There's got to be a story behind the toilet seat.
Well, who's ever on my you-know-what list, I put a picture of it behind it.
After relic.
Igor and Igor, the Voldic brothers.
After treasure.
Tons of oddball stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Mad Dog's Hall of Fame ring from WWE.
Steve Schmidt of West Ellis has personal connections to pro wrestling history.
So Crusher was playing Santa.
Exactly.
And Mad Dog is putting in his Christmas list.
Exactly. What a characters.
And it shows.
Signed a picture in the hotel room.
Did they really?
There was actually a hurricane going on at the time.
Yep.
In Fayetteville.
His friendship started when wrestlers had to protect their character.
Trust. And that's exactly what it was, is trust.
And staying at Schmidt's house gave him one-of-a-kind items.
Mad Dog, the Crusher, Baron von Raschke, and, just legends of the ring.
So is the collection priceless, or would Schmidt part with it?
You never know. You can't take it with you. But it's a lot of memories, a lot of fond memories. And just so if someone did buy an item, that it's properly cared for and respected.
I wouldn't argue with that.
And you got to admit, Steve's memories are probably as priceless as the collection. Lance, thank you for that. There's a tooth fairy and a book fairy. Coming up, you're going to meet a woman who is opening up new worlds through books. And we're going to take you inside a downtown bookstore with a fluffy four-legged chief of security. Watch out. Welcome back to Positively Milwaukee. She doesn't have wings or wand. Instead, she's armed with books. Digital reporter James Groh caught up with Milwaukee's book fairy. She's embarked on a massive book donation campaign.
What a good book can do is open you up to a world you never knew existed. And a Milwaukee woman who's affectionately known as Barbie the Book Fairy is helping everyone turn the page on their next adventure.
We've been delivering books in area codes 53204 and 53215 for the children and the families in our community.
Barbara Cerda is Milwaukee's book fairy. Since April, she's been delivering books to 8 little free libraries across Lincoln Village and the South Side.
I kind of lost track a long time ago, but I know I have collected over 6,000 books.
It started out casually with Cerda cleaning her home at the start of the pandemic and donating some old books. She noticed how fast they were gone, so Cerda decided to keep refilling the little libraries over and over again. Months later, she's focusing on stocking the shelves with books by Black and brown authors.
That's what my neighborhood looks like. These are, the people that live here. And I thought that it was important to make sure that we were providing books that are speaking to us. So this book is in Spanish. It's really empowering, especially for children to grow up knowing that, they belong.
She has enough donations to last through winter, but you can donate more by searching Barbie the Book Fairy on Facebook.
And that is Barbie with a Y. James Groh is always on the go. Check out his collection of neighborhood stories. They're really great on streaming channel, TMJ4 streaming channel, on Amazon Fire, Roku, and Apple TV. All you have to do is click on the Go with Groh. Kind of like that. Well, speaking of books, while many businesses have taken a hit during the pandemic, there is one Milwaukee bookstore that seems to be starting a new chapter. Delaney Bry has the story.
Closing in on 30 years of business in 2021, when the pandemic hit, Downtown Books wasn't sure how it would survive 2020.
It looked like it was going to be disastrous. As a matter of fact, we had a couple of really bad weeks. Well, we had to close for a while.
Luckily for owner Keith Paget, the bad chapter was short-lived and a plot twist emerged.
Business has been okay, you know, and I think book sales are holding up. The COVID crisis, I think, has actually helped us a little bit because I think people are having more time to read. They're staying home and buying more books.
With an endless selection of books, music, and movies, it's hard to walk out empty-handed. But if you need to let go of some books to make room for more, Keith is always looking to buy.
My supply depends on charity book sales and things from the libraries. And since those libraries have been closed, that supply has been kind of cut off. So I've had to either depend more on house calls where I go to people's houses and buy their books.
Whether you're wanting to take a trip, master a game, or expand your horizons, Downtown Books has something for you. Unless you're a mouse. Then you may have a problem with security. Milo the cat. Open 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday, 10 to 5 on Sundays. Take a visit downtown. Keith, Milo, and thousands of stories are waiting for you.
I'm going to watch out for Milo. Now, Downtown Books is located at 624 North Broadway. I'll be back with my quote of the week. Welcome back for my quote of the week. I love to get our week started with an inspirational message, and this morning's comes from the Dalai Lama. He said, quote, "There are only 2 days in the year that nothing can be done. One is called yesterday, and the other is called tomorrow. So today is the right day to love, believe, do, and mostly live." You do remember that. Thank you for joining us this morning on Positively Milwaukee. Have a wonderful week. Stay positive.